thoughts on the career of Manny Pacquiao, and did you know him well?
No lo conozco personalmente, pero lo que sí te puedo decir es que ha logrado mucho en el boxeo y ganó campeonatos en muchas divisiones, grandes peleas. Creo que era el momento de retirarse, él ya está en el Salón de la Fama y la verdad es que un gran peleador.
La corner.
Canelo Alvarez has just expressed his shock at the intensity of Manny Pacquiao's training sessions. He even jokingly expressed that Pacquiao had shown more speed in his training sessions at 46 than him at 36. It's scary when these legends come out of retirement. I remember his last fight wasn't good, but I hope he gets it this time. While Canelo Alvarez voiced the concerns of many fans, which was his fight against Ugas, where he looked very bad to the dismay of boxing fans, Canelo Alvarez also found some assurance in Pacquiao's fitness ahead of the Mario Barrios fight. I trust Manny, he's a disciplined fighter, and his training sessions have been crazy. Many active boxers don't even have that kind of strength, speed, and agility.
Lose that.
Unsurprisingly, many boxing fans agreed with Canelo Alvarez. Legends recognize legends. Manny Pacquiao is one of those legends that'll forever be respected in boxing. His discipline and way of life will forever be remembered and will be a source of motivation among boxing fans, a fan said. Another fan added, "I love the respect among these two boxing legends, two of the all-time greats with huge admiration for each other. I hope Manny is able to get past the defeat at his election and bag the championship at 46. It's a big dream, and I hope he achieves it."
Un gran peleador.
You know, I don't know Manny Pacquiao personally, but I know that he's a great champion. You know, it was his time for his retirement. He had already reached the Hall of Fame, but he is a great fighter.
Yeah, basically, as you move forward, Canelo, and you look at where you stand in your.
A third commented, "I remember the roar among the fans when Manny Pacquiao defeated Keith Thurman in 2019. I hope to see boxing fans genuinely happy for the people's champion. I see he's preparing for it, and he'll get it eventually." Another added, "Canelo has told no lies about Manny. Many boxing professionals in this generation can't come close to Manny Pacquiao's level of discipline and training. He's so good at what he does, and he deserves all his accolades." After appearing to show early fatigue in his first set of training footage, Manny Pacquiao has been more active and athletic since he began his outdoor training sessions some days ago. Shortly before then, Pacquiao hinted that he was back in the spotlight after a 38-second video was released, showing him training intensely. Dressed in simple sportswear, the Filipino throws combinations at the punching bag with the same determination that made him an 8-division champion. The footage was shared by Boxing Kingdom with a clear message: the legend is back. At 46 years old and almost 4 years out of the ring, Pacquiao is preparing to face Mario Barrios, the current World Boxing Council welterweight champion. The fight, scheduled for July 19th in Las Vegas, pits two generations with very different styles against each other. Barrios, 16 years younger, is in top form, riding a winning streak based on his relentless pressure and solid jab. The fight is more than just a comeback. It's a battle against time.
Let me sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather. How do I sneeze and say Floyd Mayweather?
All right, hey, listen.
then that shows that you're a neophyte in boxing. You know nothing about boxing.
Well, excuse me?
Because no.
What? I ain't hear you, Mike. What'd you say?
That you don't know much about boxing.
Getting a little uncomfortable up here.
No one said who was better. I said there's nobody in boxing that fighting that looks sensational.
Sensational.
The way that Pacquiao did against Rio.
In other words,
what do you think? You're an expert. What do you think?
I think like Gennady Golovkin looks sensational.
In the Filipino boxers' camp, they know this well, and it seems that they have prioritized certain factors in their training to be able to cope with adversity if it arises. So a short statement from a member of Pacquiao's team to Ili Sekbok says a lot about how they see the fight in which the World Boxing Council Welterweight World Championship will be at stake. Justin Fortune, Pacquiao's strength and conditioning coach, and Buboy Fernandez, Pacquiao's manager, were present at the scene where Sekbok was present to collect statements. But it was an assistant trainer who ended up giving him the scoop. When questioned about the strategy and his prediction, "It will go 12 rounds," he said succinctly. So from that statement, it can be assumed that his own team does not trust that Pac-Man can finish the fight early. So instead of a 400-meter race, they have gone on to think of a real marathon. The question is whether Pacquiao will have enough gas. Despite the criticism he's faced in recent years, including following his most recent fight against Cuban boxer William Skull Canelo Alvarez, continues to receive praise from some of boxing's biggest legends. The latest to join the chorus is Manny Pacquiao, who is preparing for a comeback bout against Mexican-American fighter Mario Barrios. It took just 3 words to sum up Pacquiao's view of Alvarez. Speaking to ES News, the 46-year-old Filipino called the Mexican a role model, before offering his thoughts on Alvarez's upcoming fight against American welterweight champion Terrence Crawford.
A while back, your son was in the gym with Canelo. Canelo showed him a lot of love. Yeah. He's a good person too. Canelo's a good person. Yeah. He's a role model. One of the role models in boxing. You guys separate yourself from most fighters, being like the face of the sport.
Pacquiao touched down in Los Angeles a few hours ago to continue training for the July 19th fight, which will take place at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. The bout will be for the WBC interim welterweight title, currently held by Barrios. He also had some advice for Alvarez and applauded the decision to face Crawford, saying he believes it's a good fight for Canelo. According to Pacquiao, the key for the Mexican champion will be to focus on speed, style, and also strength. The friendship between Pacquiao and Alvarez dates back several years. In 2021, Pacquiao's son, Emmanuel Pacquiao Jr., trained with Alvarez and his coach, Eddie Reynoso.
Did you get any sleep yet, Manny? Or
Morning.
any sleep yet? Or still jet lag?
Still jet lag.
But you're still working out.
Like 12, and then woke up and 4 o'clock in the morning. That's it.
No sleep.
In fact, Canelo Alvarez had given Manny Pacquiao some farewell words when he announced his retirement in 2021. Canelo Alvarez reacted to the news of Manny Pacquiao's retirement this week as the Filipino former 8-weight world champion focuses now on a presidential run in his home country. Though Alvarez and Pacquiao never crossed paths in the ring, both are regarded as two of the finest and most exciting stars boxing has produced in the last 25 years. Canelo was quick to pay tribute to the achievements of Pac-Man, but admitted he is also glad to see the 42-year-old step away after a disappointing performance in his last bout, a loss to Yordenis Ugas in August. It's sad, but it was about time, Canelo said to Little Giant Boxing. He did a lot of things for boxing. He is a great fighter, a legend. Pacquiao had hinted at the Ugas loss being his last fight, but his representatives attempted to clarify his interviews until the boxer released a statement confirming the end of his in-ring career. As I hang up my boxing gloves, I would like to thank the whole world, especially the Filipino people, for supporting Manny Pacquiao. Goodbye, boxing, Pacquiao declared in a video. It is difficult for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over. Today I am announcing my retirement.
Forward, Canelo, and you look at, where you stand in your career right now. Where do you think your legacy is, and how far short is it of standing as the greatest fighter in Mexico history?
I don't know, but I just want to say, I just want to do my history, my things, and everybody is different, but I'm gonna try to do my best and be there in one of the best.
I would imagine that that's probably a situation where you're not going to know that you're that #1 fighter in the history of Mexico until you have reached it in your heart. Is that true? Is that true? Like, you're going to...
Thank you for changing my life. When my family was desperate, you gave us hope. You gave me the chance to fight my way out of poverty. Because of you, I was able to inspire people all over the world. Because of you, I have been given the courage to change more lives. I will never forget what I have done and accomplished in my life that I can't imagine. I just heard the final bell. I never thought this day would come as I hung up my boxing gloves. However, Manny Pacquiao also gave his advice for Terence Crawford ahead of the fight.
We'll do our best. I mean, it's hard to say right now, but we work hard for this training camp. We'll show you.
What do you think about Canelo?
It's good. Canelo is good. And Triple G.
At one point a few years ago, it seemed like the legendary Manny Pacquiao could eventually be facing champion boxer Terence Crawford, as the two were in and around the weight divisions. However, these two ultimately never met in the ring, which may have been a good thing considering that Pacquiao looked like a shell of his former self during his final few professional fights. Since then, Crawford has gone on to defeat the other top boxers around his weight, stacking up title belts and increasing his undefeated record to the point where he has skyrocketed up pound-for-pound rankings. Now Crawford is slated to fight Canelo Alvarez in mid-September, in what's going to be the biggest payday of his life by far. And Pacquiao is also returning to the boxing ring this summer, facing reigning World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios on July 19th in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Manny, you were a smaller fighter fighting bigger guys. What advice do you give Crawford for fighting Canelo, a bigger guy?
Oh, my advice is make sure that he will focus on speed. That he is to. Like, that's the problem when you're moving up.
There's no doubt that the 46-year-old Pacquiao's focus is completely on his upcoming bout against an adversary 16 years younger than him. However, that didn't keep Pacquiao from speaking about the Canelo versus Crawford contest during a May 23rd interview with Fight Hub TV. At one point in the discussion, Pacquiao was asked what advice he would give Crawford for fighting Canelo, given that Canelo is a bigger guy. My advice is that he would make sure to focus on speed. Pacquiao responded, "That's the problem when you're moving up in weight, that your speed and power go, so he needs to focus on that."
Manny, you met Crawford in Dubai, yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
He got so scared of meeting Manny, he jumped up 3 weight classes because he didn't want that smoke.
3 weight classes?
Yeah, 47, 54, 60, 68. I'm joking, of course.
This is an interesting juxtaposition from what Pacquiao likely needs to focus on in his own fight, as the general sentiment from the boxing community is that the Pac-Man will need to depend on his own power if he has any change of beating Barrios, given that Barrios will almost surely be the faster and more athletic guy in there. In fact, one more person has linked the Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford fight to one of Manny Pacquiao's old fights. Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford has become the center of attention in the boxing world ever since the fight was announced, and the two modern-day greats will fight it out to decide who's best on September 13th. It's a massive event, and the buzz around the fight keeps growing by the day. Trainer Teddy Atlas, who is considered an expert voice in boxing due to his legendary experience, has now given his prediction for the fight. His analysis is always one worth heeding, and in a recent interview with The Ring, Atlas pointed out a burning debate in boxing history: who wins when a great smaller fighter takes on a great bigger fighter, which seems to be the key theme of Canelo versus Crawford.
It was going to be, I just think Crawford's real special. I think Canelo's really good, but I think Crawford is special. I know he hasn't fought the resume everyone wants, but you have that or you don't have that ingredient. I think he has it. I see it. The timing, the instinct, the eyes, the ability to be chilly cold, not just cold and calm, but chilly cold.
Bud is moving up 2 weight classes as his last fight took place at 154 pounds against Israel Madrimov. Crawford arguably didn't look his best in that fight, but Atlas was quick to note that Madrimov has 300 amateur fights under his belt, making him a conundrum. Speaking to The Ring, Atlas said, "You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power, Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and say, wait a minute, the other guy is faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy's slicker. Maybe he's got the advantages."
Moved up to 154, but he was fighting a good fighter. He was fighting a guy that fought a very difficult style at that moment, and he was fighting at a weight class that was foreign to him, and we had to give him a minute. Nobody wants to give anyone a minute in this business. You're supposed to be great, you got to be great every minute. But I gave him a minute to kind of get his feet settled at a new weight class.
Atlas went on to compare Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford to Manny Pacquiao's fight against Oscar De La Hoya. He claimed that Pacquiao was the faster fighter and defeated De La Hoya in their 2008 showdown. He said, "Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that stuff. I get it. But still, I remember that I picked that one that Pacquiao is going to win. You're saying De La Hoya is bigger, stronger, he's got the power advantage, he's got this edge, but the other guys are quicker. That's going to be an edge, and it was an edge."
The greatness is within Crawford. It's in his desire, it's in his mind, it's in his makeup, it's in his background, where he came from. That there's something about, just like a Sugar Ray Leonard had that something about him when he's a junkyard dog, when he has to be a junkyard dog. And with all the intangible gifts that I just touched.
Atlas lauded Canelo Alvarez's stellar resume, but said, "I am one of the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I am not saying Canelo is not, but I think he's special in a different way where he has instincts that not everyone has. It's the timing, the instinctual things, the X factor, and again the intangibles that he has." Over the first weekend in June, the 8-division champion Pacquiao will be inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and switch his attention back to Barrios, a 30-year-old who wasn't even born when the Filipino icon made his pro debut in 1995. But the World Boxing Council re-entered Pacquiao in its rankings earlier this month at the number 5 spot, and the hand-picked Barrios is perceived to be a very winnable fight. Once a long-planned fight with Pacquiao didn't materialize last year, Barrios shifted focus and fought to a surprising split draw against Abel Ramos in November. When Pacquiao was asked by a group of reporters about the 16-year age discrepancy and the dangers of returning now, he flashed a smile and said, "Don't worry about it. It's a tough road for anyone at this age to do what Manny is trying to do. But if anyone can do it, Manny can. Roach told The Ring in a statement provided by his publicist, Fred Sternberg. Pacquiao also teased that his son Jimuel will make his pro debut on a card that is also supposed to feature the rematch between World Boxing Council junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu.
We're here in Manila with the great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao, Sean Gibbons, and Manny is announcing the creation of the memorial for the 50th anniversary of Ali Frazier, the Thrill in Manila.
That was 50 years ago.
So next October 1st, 2025, many surprises to come. And we will fully support all your efforts.
It's going to be a big event.
He's 46 now, and even me as his son, I love him. He's my dad. There's also concern there, Jimuel told reporters during Roach's ceremony in Hollywood on Sunday. But I believe in him. He has shown us that he stays in shape year-round and all that. So weight is not going to be a problem. Fitness is not going to be a problem.
You're looking in tremendous shape. You're ready to fight Barrios tonight and make history, Manny.
Manny, you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it. Manny, for a lot of people, you're the greatest fighter in history, the only champion in 4 different decades. When you beat Barrios, what does that say?
Oh, it's a big thing for me.
And congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, June. How are you, madam?
The fervor and buzz around Manny Pacquiao is catching up, though criticisms over his comeback fight against Mario Barrios persist. As the boxing legend goes about preparing for the big one on July 19th, the enthusiasm hasn't dimmed altogether, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.